Welcome to the Sober Stretch, the podcast for anyone who has a problematic relationship with alcohol, be it alcoholic, perhaps think you are, binge drinker, maybe you're getting sober and you're struggling to cope with everything that comes with that. We are the men for you, two former alcoholics. I'm Gary, and here's my mate Craig. How you doing, man? You all right?
Very good, thank you. Very good.
Excellent.
Feel like a bit of a moaning bitch today. I feel a little bit rough, but no hangover. So yeah, I'm all good. How are you?
I'm well. It's weird, isn't it? The no hangover thing. Even for me, 10 years sober, I still wake up on a Sunday morning and occasionally think, I'm so glad I'm not hungover.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I actually feel ill. I haven't been ill in years, but I feel like a bit chesty. But hangovers were fucking 10 times worse. Like maybe more than 10 times worse. Maybe like 50 times worse. Not even joking.
Yeah. I think some of the illest moments of my life have been alcohol induced.
Yeah, man. Do you know, I was thinking the other day, like when you're severely hungover, but you're an alcoholic, so you're actually sick, but you need to drink. So
Yeah.
you're drinking beer and it's coming straight back up, but you need it.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Oh, some of the hangovers. I remember once when I lived in Germany when I was young. I was like at uni. I was 21, I think, and I'd been on the vodka the night before at a party and then a club. And the next day, I couldn't. I remember United were playing Sunderland at 4 o'clock, and I remember looking at my watch at in bed at 10 a.m. thinking, "Yeah, I'm not going to make that," and I couldn't turn around. Like if I moved it must have. I think I had alcohol poisoning.
Yeah.
I moved an inch, and it was excruciating. This is a
Oh
funny.
man.
Let me tell you this story. It's funny actually. Before we get going,
Yeah.
here's why we don't drink. And I shared. So I was living at a German university because I studied German, and I went out that night, got absolutely battered, and then I managed to drag myself to the toilet, and I shared a 2-bedroom kind of maisonette thing with this woman who was a lot older than me. She was like a post-grad student, and she was in a wheelchair, Claudia. And we were all pleasant enough with each other, but she was quite quiet. And then that afternoon, I crawled into the bathroom naked, and I lay on the tiles in my bathroom floor because they were just cold and comforting. And obviously, I passed out. When I woke up, the door was open, and she was just sitting there, staring at me. I didn't know how long we'd been asleep or how long she'd been there, but I thought, right, maybe I should stop drinking, and I did. 12 years later.
It's that's interesting because I've done a similar thing once in a hotel. It was a mad weekend. I don't know how I've ended up in a hotel, but I was in the Village Hotel in Farnborough, fucked, and I woke up in the middle of the night and I had excruciating stomach pain, and I don't know why, but I crawled to the bathroom to sleep there.
There's just something really forgiving about the cold
Yeah,
tiles
man.
on the floor. It's like,
Yeah. It's like proper dramatic, isn't it? You can just
yeah. It's the temperature that you're seeking out just to cool the body. Oh, it was
yeah.
wild. It was quite creepy. It felt like a movie when I opened my eyes, and she was just like, for those that are listening and not watching, she was just staring at me.
But
Anyway.
you ain't been stabbed or shot or anything heroic. You've just got a fucking hangover.
Yeah.
Not like
Yeah,
scene out of Saving Private Ryan.
yeah. Just some pathetic, pissed up loser just laying on the floor.
Oh man, never the days.
Yeah.
So today what we're gonna talk about is finding your reason why to go sober. Some people's are obviously very similar. Some people you might just be doing it for you, which is a very, very, very valid reason. It's not like self-absorbed or anything like that. But I suppose there's a lot of different reasons. Some people might do it for their kids. They might do it for their job. But I think it is definitely important to establish why you want to do it, because then you can keep reminding yourself when you feel like, oh, just have a drink. Remember your reason why, and that's why you're doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. You have to establish why to aim at something and to maintain that focus. I'll go first. I'll bring mine up. Mine was me. My why was just a better life all round for myself. I wasn't quitting for a girlfriend, friends, a career. I just wanted to be happier and healthier. And that alone was enough for me to keep going, and I just constantly reminded myself, your life will be shit if you keep drinking. So, and obviously we'll go into it in more detail, but my why was me.
The whole shebang, really, innit?
Yeah, man. And I think I did a reel about 4 or 5 months ago about it should be you. No one seemed to disagree with me, but even if it's for your kids, is it not for you slightly before
That's
that anyway?
yeah. That's what I was thinking, but also there's loads of spin-offs as well. So when you say it's for you, which also means it's for your future career, your family, everything. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
So, but very, very similar to you. Mine was, I'm quite a deep thinker, so believe it or not. So, yeah, mine was for me. Obviously, I had nan, granddad, friend passed away very close together in the same year. So I was like, right, I'll do it for you. My granddad didn't want us to be wreckheads, pissheads, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a big starting point for me. Uh,
Was it? Was it?
I
Sorry, go on.
can't even think what I was going to say.
I was going to say, was it after your granddad had passed away? Did you feel like you owed it to him?
Yeah, in a way, yeah. In a way, not straight away, because it's as dreadful as it is. Even like at the funerals, I had way too many. Like, I actually got drunk, like for my nan and granddad's funeral, but it was the only way I felt I could deal with anything. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I do feel that I did feel like I owed it for him, 100%, 100%. It's sad, really, because they would have seen like their grandkids like grow up and then turn into some fucking waste of space. Do you know what I mean? And see the gradual downfall.
Mm.
So, I would rather him see me now,
Mm-hmm. Of
or them
course,
see
yeah.
me now, than what I was like. Yeah,
But there is definitely still some comfort in the fact that you managed to do it post his passing. Do you know what I mean? You're still.
yeah,
It's almost like a posthumous, gift to him to say, I know you're not
exactly.
here, but I fucking did it, man.
Yeah, 100%. And it's constant motivation as well. Like,
Mm-hmm.
not that I really need it anymore, but in the early stages, to remember why you're doing it. If you've got something, if you've got if you've got something like that, it can be huge motivation. Like, if you've even more so if you've got kids or something like that,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that is huge, huge, huge motivation. I saw something the other day about, it was a statistic about the percentage of kids that are obese because of their parents, and I'm sure that can correlate to drinking, smoking, and shit like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you want your kids to see the right things, how's that not the biggest motivation ever to stop,
Yeah.
or the biggest reason why?
Yeah, I'd absolutely agree. As a parent now, but someone who had 7 years of sobriety before becoming a parent, I think if you have kids, mentally you would think that that is your first, the top of the Y list.
Yeah, I think so.
But I still feel like you come before that, because you're
I agree.
you're in no position to raise your children to the best of your ability if you're drinking heavily.
Hmm.
Fact. So does that not like supersede the importance for the kids? Like you've got to get yourself healthy for,
Yeah,
for, for you so you can be that parent. Yeah, I mean it's obvious, really. I think, but yeah, if you don't have if you don't have kids, you're more likely to be reckless, perhaps, and let it go on for longer.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, imagine our, the archetypal drinking bloke like us, like we were, there is not a chance in the world that you could be a good parent living like that.
Nah.
Not a fucking. I mean, I question my parenting skills every 8 minutes of the day, and I'm together mentally and sober, and I would say a relatively emotionally intelligent person, and I still like, oh no, I'm fucking shit, you know. Still, I can't
Self-doubt's
imagine
normal,
what
isn't
it'd
it?
be like.
Yeah. But that's a good thing that you're acknowledging it as well. It's because you're so that's your biggest priority, isn't it? In
Hmm.
in your life, your biggest priority is being a good dad, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
It must come above anything else. So um you wouldn't have that question wouldn't have popped into your head if you were pissed.
yeah.
I
True.
mean,
Yeah, exactly.
how much time would you have even spent with your kids if you was still an alky? Really?
Maybe I don't know about it. Maybe I would have. I'm just speculating, but knowing what kind of drinker I was, I would have probably just been self-medicating at home a lot and not being as present, energetic
Yeah,
with it as I should be. I don't think I would have been a terrible parent, but I think I would have been
yeah. So you wouldn't.
hugely doing myself and them a disservice having that in my life as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you would have had to had a few beers just to be able to play with them and shit like that, maybe.
Well, I used to have to have a few. I used to have to have a few beers to, you know, whatever, anything.
Yeah, man.
So like the idea of playing, and I actually said, I think I said this before. I find play quite hard. It's not like just instinctive to me to just go, okay, let's play this game. I'm like, oh, all right.
Yeah,
Obviously, I excel in other ways. But um, yeah, it would have just been. It'd been a fucking nightmare, mate. To be honest, we both know it. But I've got so many people in my Instagram chat support group, and then other people that comment underneath reels and stuff are talking about wanting to be a better parent for their children. So,
hmm
most people over 35, not most, but well, probably most have kids, and a lot of people that are drinking heavily are over 35. So do the maths.
yeah, man. Yeah, and like you said, I didn't think about it before, but it all really stems down to you. So being a better parent is it's just a knockoff of you doing it for you.
Hmm.
Because the list of things that get better when you become sober is fucking enormous, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I can't think off the top of my head. I couldn't think of. I would love if I was a complete sadder and I had loads of fucking time. I'd write a list, but from like your career to your health is your health should be your number one priority in the world,
Hmm.
because without your health you've got fuck all. What parent are you going to be if you're 25 stone and you can't walk? So
Yeah.
everything gets better. Your communication, your patience. You're not going to be a great parent if every time your daughter or son asks you something you're like, oh, what the fuck do you want now? But
Yeah.
that's all going to get better with becoming sober. Because if you're hungover, you're going to be a miserable cunt anyway.
If you list every part of your life on a bit of paper, you you and I can categorically say that we could put a tick against everything that has improved on that list.
Yeah.
Like every single thing on that list would have a tick: improved, 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 improved. But you know what? You talk about health. I didn't give a damn about my health in my 20s. I thought I was indestructible. I thought I had plenty of time to claw it back later down the line.
Charlie Sheen.
And Charlie Sheen, Tiger Blood.
Yeah, mate.
But I would have I remember having conversations when I used to go home as an adult to visit my parents. My dad goes to bed quite early, and my mum and I would sit up and chat. And you know, I'm sure we all had the same parental conversations going, oh, you know, your health is wealth. Your health is number one.
Yeah.
And when I was 23, I'd be like, I don't care about my health.
Yeah.
I care about having enough money to get enough Benson and Hedges and enough ale to have a good time. And
Yeah.
I think about my health all the time now. I mean, you're a bit of not a hypochondriac, are you? But
I
you've
am,
said yourself you have like
mate.
health
I am.
anxiety. Okay,
There's
fair
no
enough.
doubt about it. I am a fucking hypochondriac to the highest degree. But I
So
think that since I've lost people, it's
yeah,
fucking set something off. Do you know what I mean?
hmm and that's
But
maturity as well, isn't it? It's
yeah,
aging and getting away from that kind of wild youth. It's just a normal progression into thinking
mate.
about important things.
It sounds so fucking cliche and cringy. The term "you only live once." I hate the term. If I could think of another way to say it, then I would. But
Yeah.
I think so deeply about this. You literally have one life. I don't know if it's just me, but I always think about once it's done, it's fucking done. Like you get one go,
hmm
and you want to live as long and happy as possible. So if you do by chance live long, but your last, you get, I don't know, say you live to 80, yeah, but from 40 onwards, you're unhealthy. Half your life is fucked. Half of it is going to be miserable because you're unhealthy, because you fucked your body that badly from booze or eating shit, bad habits, blah blah blah. That's a poor existence. And people, and then like you said, when you're younger, you don't think about it, and then you just put it off, and you put it off, and you put it off. Are you just going to keep putting it off until something happens to you, and it's fucking too late?
Yeah. Well, that's how it works. I think that's the a lot for a lot of people, and to a point to a degree, us until it gets really bad, you think it's fine.
Yeah, mate, you could just overdo it that one time, then you're on what, kidney dialysis for the rest of your life.
Mm.
You've shortened your life. It's a gift, isn't it? Life is a gift, but you've drunk so much because you couldn't stop. You kept going and going and going and pushing the boundaries until the point where your body's like, you fucked it now.
Yeah. Scary.
It is scary. I think about stuff like that all the time. And I just think we're so lucky to be alive, and we just insist on fucking our bodies up, which is the most important thing to us. Can't do nothing without a healthy body.
What's that statistic you gave me? One, you've got the chances of being born
Oh
are something
man,
like 1 in 4 trillion or 40 trillion.
yeah, yeah.
And when you think that you are given that opportunity and you choose to dedicate it to Stella Artois,
I know, yeah, yeah. That,
oh, I've
that
got
is
a 1 in 40 trillion chance at existence, so I'm going to sit in the fucking pub for most of it.
yeah, man.
And at the time, I knew deep down a lot of. I mean, how many Sundays in the pub, particularly Sundays? How many Sundays in the pub did you have and think, I can't do this anymore? Even in your 20s, you know. Well,
Um,
most of it in our 20s because we quit in our early 30s. But like all those Sundays in our 20s, just dying in the pub, contemplating debt and
oh,
not going to work the next day and the impact on our health and our family and friends. That is how you choose to dedicate your existence to ale, to gin. You know what
yeah.
I mean? It's
It's
like when you
cool.
say it like that, and when you get sober, you just realize how fucking stupid it is.
I know. That is, it's crazy. But yeah, I think it takes something to. It must take something to make you snap out of that. But I'm so deep with things like that, and I think we literally have one go. What is the point in in sitting down the same pub, miserable. You hate it there. You don't even like it, but you put yourself in a position where you need to be there because
Yeah.
you haven't got anything else. You're not even enjoying it. You got to be there.
It was weird. I'd rather be in the pub sad on a Sunday afternoon than go home and try and recalibrate my head because I was
Mate,
just so
100%.
habitual.
Playing the
So
victim is so
habitual.
easy. Playing victim is so easy. It's like you said, habits. Your brain wants something that it's used to, and it is used to sitting down the pub, being miserable bastard, complaining or whatever, and
Yeah.
talking shit.
Yeah.
Coming out of your comfort zone is hard, and it's growth, but it's not easy. So your brain's going to choose the easy route, innit? And sit down the pub and have a few beers
Yeah.
and moan about your life. But
It's ridiculous.
whilst doing the thing that's fucking it up.
Yeah. Well, that's addiction, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
At what point did your life become so shit that the why was more important than the current existence?
Good question. I lived in a. I got evicted. I got evicted from a halfway house. Like,
Oh, that's something.
how the fuck can you get evicted from a halfway house? I thought they were free. I thought they were free. I thought they were free, and they
Oh,
come at
sweet! I'll
me.
just live here forever.
Yeah, no, that's what I thought. That is what I thought. Yeah, mate. Yeah, evicted. They said you need to pay blah blah blah, and it weren't a huge amount. And I was like, well, I ain't got it. I thought this is what you done. You just put us up forever. And yeah, man, that was bad. I was sleeping in a single bed with like oh mate, the place was horrible. It must have been like 15 bedrooms in there. It was fucking weird. But because I didn't give a fuck, I was like one of them. Do you know what I mean? I'm not calling
Yeah.
I'm not calling them skanks or anything like that, but I was a fucking skank. There's no doubt about it. I was just in my 20s living in a halfway house. Like, you have to seriously fuck up to be there. You have to make the wrong decisions constantly to end up in that position, and that's exactly what I've done. And yeah, that was a bad time to be alive. To be
And
fair.
how long after that did you quit?
Oh, it still took me fucking ages. I then
So that wasn't enough of a why.
nah.
Okay, interesting. Keep
Nah.
going. Keep going.
Keep going. Yeah. Do you know what? What happened? I went to Leeds. I moved to Leeds for a job opportunity, and that ended up badly. Just got fucked up pretty much every day. Nan and Grandad passed away when I lived in Leeds. Come back for their funerals and stuff, and as I said, like it was when I saw a photo of myself, I just didn't recognise myself. Coming off on a 3-day bender, and I just did not recognise myself, and I was like, "Fuck this!" Like, I used to think I had a little bit about me, and now I don't. So then I was like, right, I'm gonna have 6 weeks off, and then shortly after that, one of my best mates passed away, and as I said, I was gonna buy a drink. When I found out that he passed away, I was like, right, if I'm ever gonna drink, it's gonna be now. Not that it was just like a knee-jerk reaction to get a pint.
Yeah.
We all met up, and someone said, "No, don't." So then I was like, "Right, that's it. I won't fucking drink again then." So yeah, I lost obviously 2 grandparents and my best mate, and one of my best mates, and didn't drink. I'm not being funny. You've got to be a sick bastard if that's not a big enough reason for you. So yeah,
I think if you can lose one of your friends when you're that age, and you're you're in the early throes of making a real attempt and it's going well, and you get through that. I mean, come on, like what other reason?
Yeah.
That's that must have. Did you walk away from those kind of days and think, "Wow, I might actually have a chance here"? I exercised that amount of self-control. Did you feel a shift?
Yeah. Yeah. I knew it. I literally knew I wasn't going to drink. It's pretty simple as that.
Yeah.
Once you get through like a hurdle, it could be, or a milestone, it could be something like Christmas. Yeah, Christmas is associated with food and booze, isn't it?
Yeah.
I remember Christmas. It was a great time because it was literally acceptable to be able to drink at any time. Yeah, so
Mm.
you could get away with cracking a beer open at 8 in the morning. It's funny because we would be doing that anyway, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Like, I'd be doing that on a Monday morning. But
Yeah.
the fact that I could do it and not have to hide it was fucking beautiful.
Mm.
It was just
I
like,
remember. I remember that feeling, thinking, "Oh, I've got a pass to do whatever I like."
yeah, yeah. I was
People are
the
like, "Oh,
exact
this is
same.
a nice treat on at 8 in the morning." I'm like, "What are you on about? I'll be doing it on Wednesday."
Yeah, innit? No one can look at me funny or give me a hard time. Fuck off! It's Christmas.
Yeah, man.
So where was I going? Oh yeah. So if you get over something like your first Christmas, your first sober Christmas, that gives you momentum, and then I just feel like I'd gone through the hardest thing sober.
Mm.
I'm not like, I value life so much, and I'm quite an emotional person. There is nothing worse than death. Like nothing at all. If you love someone, it fucking hurts. So to do something like that sober, there is no way that nothing can ever make me want to drink again.
Mm.
No way.
Yeah, it's a good sign that at such early doors and someone so important close to you, and you manage to get through it.
Yeah, exactly.
And again, going back to the why, at that time, I don't know, is it almost, it's trying to make people proud as well, isn't it? I wanted to make myself proud because I hadn't felt any pride or like true achievement-based self-esteem for so long
Yeah,
that when I finally managed to stay sober, let's call it stay sober as opposed to get sober. When I stayed sober, there's just, like you say, the momentum. There was just all these little reminders of why I had quit for myself. You know, I'd gone from a teacher I was new to teaching. I'd only taught for 2 years when I got sober. And then every week I was just like, oh, I'm better, I'm better, I'm better. The students are learning more.
yeah,
I'm more confident in the classroom. So from a career point of view, I could see my evaluations improving because we
yeah.
got evaluated every week by all these different students.
Uh-huh.
And I just kept getting little nuggets of goodness that reminded me not only why, but that I was my why.
Yeah,
You know, I could wake up in the morning and I don't know, could
mate.
see my dick, you know? It's like, oh, no, I'm not 16 stone anymore. It's
Yeah,
me. I'm thin. I'm a thin version of, of
yeah,
myself. I keep doing this. And I think when you get enough momentum and solid momentum and you build a plan and you get structure and you approach it in a mature way, you're less likely to relapse because there's an element of seriousness to it. The whole Monday morning, oh, I'm just going to quit today. It doesn't work.
no,
And then you beat yourself up about it. But when you do get momentum, you are able to remind yourself why. And it's very satisfying.
Matt. I feel like I could tell everyone a reason why, like people that I don't even know, because like you said, going back to that stat, the chances of, again, it's going to sound cringy, but the chances of being born and actually existing is so fucking rare. Let alone living in a Western country that
Mm.
that isn't. Do you know what I mean? We ain't got it that bad. I feel like you kind of feel like a bad. You feel like a bad piece of society, don't you? When you're just flat out drinking all the time with no fucking regard about anyone, even yourself. You don't look after anything or yourself or anything like that. So when you do become sober and you find joy in things like walking, it's just nice, isn't it? You feel like fucking hell. I've cracked it a little bit. I don't actually need to drink 4 tins
Mm.
to enjoy something. That's a beautiful feeling.
Yeah, I think it is a beautiful feeling, and it might sound really simple and weird to a person that's never been addicted to alcohol, but it's so bizarre to be able to cope with things without it. And then you start to think, oh, this is what a normal, I keep said this loads of times, this is what a normal person does. And even just being transported back to a normal life, you just kind of get this gratitude and delight at things that other people have been delighted by every day.
Yeah.
I'll be
Yeah.
like, wow, look at that tree. People are like, sober people are like, I've been walking past that tree every day and
Yeah,
appreciating
yeah,
it, you dickhead. And
yeah,
I'm like, oh, really? I've had my head down wondering how I was going to
yeah,
pay that debt.
mate.
I've had my head down, staring at the pavement as I walk because I'm
Yeah,
so trapped inside my own head about not being at work and not
yeah,
blah 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 that you're trapped. It's like it's a prison, isn't it?
yeah. Whereas now you're thinking, I wonder how many years old that tree is.
Yeah, you're like, oh, should we cut it down and examine
Yeah,
it?
yeah. Yeah. No, it is crazy. I I think it's because you get to that because your brain is so I don't know the scientific. I'm sure there probably is some fucking evidence about it, but because your body, you've now programmed your body to associating booze with a good time, or after so much repetition, you then need to have them beers to have a good time. So without it, absolutely everything is going to be shit in
For a
your
while.
eyes. Do you know what I mean?
For a
Because
while.
well, yeah, because you just think you need. But well, after a while, you need booze with everything. You need
And
you
you
need.
don't mean that you think everything will be shit when you get sober. You just mean everything is shit when you're drinking.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So when you are an alcoholic like me and you were, I needed booze in every situation to have a good time.
Hmm.
If it wasn't involved, I wasn't having a good time. Even watching football at home, I wouldn't enjoy the game after a while. And bearing in mind, football, I started playing it when I was 3 years old. It was like life or death for me. But I, I drank so much that I programmed my body to not even liking football unless I had booze.
Hmm. Wow, yeah, it's true. It's so true. I so
Yeah,
relate. The
yeah,
idea of sitting at home watching a football match without
mate.
drink because I couldn't afford any or whatever
Yeah, mate,
just
mate.
dramatically reduced the
Yeah,
enjoyment of the game.
yeah, it could have been a 5 goal thriller, mate. It could have been a
Yeah.
5 goal thriller, but still, you might cheer, then you quickly remember that you ain't got no beers and you're back on the come down.
Got to work the next day. Oh, did you enjoy the game yesterday? What a game! 3-all, 2-all after 20 minutes. Like, no, I didn't enjoy it. Why? I couldn't get to the offie. Best game of the season, you knobhead.
Yeah, but it's mate. Honestly,
But there's the
if
why, isn't it?
Sunday roast dinner, I would have just been. If I didn't have beers, I'd be eating a roast dinner anxious. Would be.
Yeah.
I would have been anxious because I
But
would have
what's
been
the
hungover and I couldn't drink. I would have been riddled with anxiety, thinking I'm going to have a fucking fit in front of everyone at the dinner table.
I mean, we do go off on tangents. We're inclined to do that, but it all does come back to a why. You know, why do you drink? Why did you stop? so I could enjoy a Sunday roast with my family.
Exactly.
So I could sit in peace and enjoy a game of football with a couple of sparkling waters and actually watch the game. Why did you quit? So I could go on a walk and not have to rely on a bag full of beers to get me through. Why did you quit? Why did you stay sober? Oh, so I could just go to work on a Monday now and again.
Yeah.
You know, like these are reasons enough.
Yeah. Having a conversation with someone and actually being excited as to what they've got to say, or interested, sorry. Being
Mm.
interested in actually finding out how someone's weekend was and actually what they've been up to. When I've said this before, I wasn't interested in, when I was like sober, wasn't really interested in anything what anyone had to say, unless it was a plan of how we're gonna get fucked up somehow. That's the
Yeah,
truth. That's the truth.
it's tragic.
Getting through a day of work without having a panic attack was my life when I couldn't drink at work. That's fucking hard work, isn't it?
Yeah, and at that time you don't see that there is a need to establish a why.
No.
You don't realize the importance of getting a why and then making a plan geared around following that why. How can you? Your brain's addled and mashed. There's no way. That's why it's so important to get through the first month, just to give your brain a chance to then really make an attempt at it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like the first month you're just kicking and screaming your way through it, aren't you really? But
Yeah.
you can initiate some kind of plan early on, like, right, I'm gonna make the most of my mornings, I'm gonna get up early and I'm gonna go and exercise and get my dopamine going. That if you just choose to do that in the first few weeks, that's some kind of plan, just
Yeah.
to brag your way through it. And then when you get to like some kind of parity and you're like, oh, I don't feel so fucked up,
Yeah.
then you really need to structure your whole life around staying sober.
Yeah. But you also have to remember as well, like a lot of for the listeners, a lot of you aren't gonna be as bad as what we were. You know, we
I would
was.
agree. I would agree.
I'm not saying there is levels. There is levels to the shit,
Of
and
course, it is.
I would say, not that it's a competition, but I would put myself quite high on the dependency for alcohol level.
So would
So
I for myself. Yeah.
so for me to have a plan, it was a lot harder than what it will be for you. If you can go days without drinking anyway, you've already got a head start than what we had, because we was fucking dependent. So our heads would have been even more fucked than the average Joe, you know.
Yeah, and I think those 3 days where you don't have a drink, if you're that type of person, but you maybe drink Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you really self-loathe and hate yourself for it. And I would think the majority of the people I've encountered on Instagram and through doing this for you, most of them are in that bracket.
Yeah.
You know, or maybe nighttime drinkers.
Yeah.
And that alone is a very serious problem. I don't want to belittle that problem.
No.
But those people, and if you are one of those people, it's the days that you don't drink where you need to sit down and make that plan.
Yeah, exactly.
You have a plan. You would have a plan to go on a 2 week camping holiday around Europe with your kids. Because if you didn't, it'd be fucking carnage and
Mm-hmm.
chaos. You need a plan to stay sober. You can't just do it on a wing and a prayer. And if you've got those days of like downtime, as in not drinking, make the most of them. But I never had those downtimes. I never had any opportunity to be just clear in the mind
No, couldn't.
to work out what I wanted to do. It was just the anxiety was ripping through me so hard all the time. Just this underlying pit of the stomach feeling that
Yeah.
dominated
Yeah.
15 years of my life, where I wasn't able. I didn't
Yeah.
have the mental strength or the wherewithal to sit down and think, what do I need to do to stop this? All I
Mm-hmm.
could think was, I just need a drink.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and that is That's why if you're in that kind of situation, you have to be your why.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you have to
Definitely.
save your life.
Exactly. Literally. It is it is that deep, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is that deep. You're the feeling I can still can you still feel the feeling of how you felt 10 years ago? Like when it was that bad?
To the absolute last degree, I can recreate that emotion in my head if I really wanted to. I can go into
Yeah.
the banks of my memory and feel it exactly because I felt it for so long. It was so powerful and it was so constant. I know exactly how it felt. I know
Yeah.
exactly how it felt to be watching and I don't say this lightly, to be watching Newcastle Everton and want to die on a Sunday. And you know which kickoff I'm talking about? It's the 4 o'clock kickoff on a Sunday. I don't know how many of Sunday 4 o'clock kickoffs I enjoyed. I just wish half the time I just wished I was dead.
Mate, I'd be pissed by that point.
I was, but I don't know. I find it quite hard to get drunk on a Sunday. I was By the
Sundays,
time I woke up on a Sunday morning, I was just like a rattled mess, but I still had this kind of. I just existed as like kind of semi-drunk by a Sunday. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. You, yes, I know what you mean. It's like you have to get to a level to cope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you ever feel like if you didn't have a drink you were just gonna have like some fucking mad like nervous breakdown?
Truthfully, every single week at some point. Normally at the weekends when when they're like we've talked about the Monday, just get through a Monday, and then maybe not drink. Just you need a drink on a Monday physically.
Yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday. If you can just about somehow blag 1 or 2 cans on a Tuesday and Wednesday,
Oh
then you're
mate,
kind of geared up and ready for Thursday again. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then on a Sunday, I just felt like don't know. I felt like a bottle of spirits. I don't mean like I wanted one. Like I felt like one.
odd
It just felt
odd
like it was like poison.
our alcoholism was so similar. It's unreal.
Mm,
It is unreal. Mine, when I think about it now, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So 4 days out of 7 weeks. Sorry, 4 days out of 7
yeah.
were absolutely fucking horrendous.
Hmm.
Like horrendous. Most Mondays, I would have at least 5 to 6 pints to get over the weekend. I don't know if it's scientific or whatever, but because I'd fucked myself up, I felt the need that I needed. It was to kind of like taper down from the
Hmm.
weekend. So that would be 5. Then on Tuesday, I'd have to have at least 4 beers to to come down slowly. Wednesday might got away with 2
Mm,
potentially, and then it's Thursday, and that fucking Thursday quickly turned into the best day of the week for me because Friday was the next day and I'd be excited.
mm.
So Thursday could be a 10 pinter and a packet of gear, and then Friday,
Yeah.
Saturday, all the whole fucking shebang. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've found that generally I drank from about 5 p.m. on Thursday till about 1 a.m. on Monday without stopping.
Yeah, yeah, same. But
So
I
that
had
that
to.
is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's 4 days. That's 24, 40. It's 96 hours, with the exception of maybe 8 hours on Friday at work and the sleep, of doing nothing but drinking all the time.
Same,
And I mean, if I got up, and I'm an early riser, if I got up at 7 o'clock on a Saturday, I started drinking at 7 o'clock on a Saturday.
same, same.
So it almost
in a
like
good,
I needed Tuesday and Wednesday just to give me some relief.
yeah.
So I wasn't,
But
consigned to the bin.
on Saturday, I was in good spirits because I knew I had that pass that I
Yes,
could
of
get
course.
fucked. I was in
Yeah.
good spirits. I was happy. I felt like a happy-go-lucky, buzzing man. Just knew that I had a whole day to drink, and for
Hmm.
what? But you're so blinded. You're so blinded. You can't see that feeling of Sunday or Monday. You have absolutely no regard for it. Um, but that quickly goes, doesn't it? And then Sunday's there, and fuck me, the come down hits you like a fucking bus.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
It's weird because they come down from like maybe class A's. You kind of can identify it and trap it in a bag and think, well, this will be gone by Wednesday. But the drinking sadness is because you, you know, if you, let's say from your waist up to your like middle, you've just got like booze swilling around it for 15 years.
yeah,
It's just a constant sadness and a constant misery, anxiety,
yeah,
stress. I think I said in a podcast, in an episode a few months ago, was that I was in a highly elevated state of stress all the time.
yeah. Well,
All the fucking time. Every minute of my day, I was anxious or stressed about something.
same, unless I was steaming.
Unless I was steaming, yeah. If I'd had 4 or 5 pints, I was still anxious. But if I had 11, I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah. Do you know
But like, if
when I
you're not your sorry, but if you're not your why when you're in that kind of state, then you need to see that you are your why.
yeah,
No, you need to fix yourself up before it can be for anyone else. Yes, there might be an advantageous after effect of you drinking in that your mum can sleep better at night. But ultimately, you don't stop to help your mum sleep better at night. That's just a pleasant byproduct
yeah, do
of
it for
doing
you.
the hard work. But ultimately, it's got to be about you.
Yeah, 100%.
Because how much time do you think in a day about? How much time in a day do you spend thinking about other people and not yourself?
Yeah, it's all for you.
Of course it is. I mean, I think about my daughter and my stepdaughter and my missus all the time. But I think about my own life more, not
Yeah,
in a selfish way, but I think about myself. So I stress myself by thinking I need to do this, 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 this to set our family up for long-term stability. But I'm stressing because it's something I have to do and it's about me inherently.
yeah.
And I know if I can fix my own shit, then my kids' lives will take care of themselves to a degree, of course.
What good are you? What good are you, dead in a nut house? Because I could have easily gone mental. Easy.
Hmm. Yeah.
Might even be a little bit tapped from all the abuse now. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Or like, what good are you? You're good to no one, and that's it. That is what you chose to do with your 1 in 40 trillion
Yeah.
chance of being born. That is what you
Ooh.
chose.
Yeah.
Imagine that regret when you're on your deathbed. That's a bit fucking harsh, but it's true.
It's true. It's probably a good place to end it, like, because it's quite hard hitting. Um, like you say, the one, what is it, 4 or 40 trillion? I
Don't
think
know.
4.
Maybe I spruced it up a little bit.
It's definitely not 3 or 30. It's 4 or 40.
It's 4 or
Um,
40. But
but again, like, what did you choose to do with your 1 in a 4 trillion chance? Just drink Tanqueray and Hendrix and fight with my sister and uh, you know, be a prick to people every Saturday. Oh, that's what you
yeah,
chose to do. Nice one.
yeah. But think that you're against the world and you think you're fucking heroic for doing it because you're in some mad headspace where everyone else is wrong apart from you, even though
Yeah,
you've drunk fucking 6 cans of Frosty Jacks this morning.
yeah, yeah. Oh, woe is me. I, when I found life a lot easier when I stopped feeling sorry for myself and just started to live in discomfort out of choice.
100%. 100%. There's nothing, now, there is nothing worse than a victim mentality.
Doesn't help anyone.
Mate, I was the biggest victim. Like, I had an excuse for everything. I felt sorry for myself when I was living in a halfway house because I felt like, oh, why is like my mum not bailing me out or something like that? So, grow up, you sad bastard. You're like 28.
Yeah, I think when you get to that point where you decide you can't live like that anymore, when you do garner the strength to take control of your shit, the discomfort and the early period is so uncomfortable and so unsettling. But when you get over it, the kind of satisfaction and the reward you get from it is so massive.
Yeah, man.
That becomes a why in itself. Like, I can't throw this away. I was so scared of drinking again. I was terrified of picking up a
Same.
drink for about 3 years, and that fear, coupled with the improvement of my life, was like, oh, this is a why alone. I know
Yeah.
if I have one drink, like,
Yeah.
doesn't
I
bear
remember.
thinking about.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that because I remember when I was like 6 months and I started to get really scared that I was going to throw it all away. And it was as if I didn't have control over it. It was like, what if my body is just like, nah, fuck it, I'm getting a beer, and I have no control over it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But you did have control because
Yeah,
you'd
yeah,
given
yeah,
yourself a chance to keep control of it.
yeah. No, I did, but it was like an intrusive thought. You know, like them thoughts that you get when you're like, what if I just chuck myself off that balcony?
Yeah.
Am I the only one that gets them?
No. I walked past a wall the other day at work. I went down an alley and there was those like spikes for pigeons,
Oh
and I
yeah.
thought, I wonder how much it'd hurt if you just landed on one of them from
Yeah,
10 foot
yeah,
above. I thought,
yeah,
what are you doing? Like,
yeah. You would
perfectly
though.
relatively happy in life. Like,
Yeah.
but
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
I think that was a powerful way to end it. I think, so like, think about it. If you're listening, give yourself some time to think about what is your why, because some people might be listening to this and thinking, oh, I need a why. All right, because it's easy for us to say we've been sober for a long time and a good amount of time, and then I think it's easy to forget how you feel in the moment. So if you don't realize you need a why, get yourself a why,
Yeah.
and then you can start to build from there and create a plan and
Feeling uncomfortable
focus
is
on things.
normal.
Yeah,
I think normalize feeling uncomfortable. It's going to be uncomfortable. Like you said, if you've got a reason why, it's something to revert back to in the tough times.
yeah, totally. Yeah, it's your anchor, isn't it?
1,000,000%.
Let's leave it there, mate.
Kushti.
Perfect. Peace, perfect. I can't fucking.
Nervous.
Not at all. Just wiped. Tell us where we can find you individually, because we are at the Sober Stretch on Instagram, and we're also on YouTube and Spotify. The episodes go out there every week.
But yeah, I'm on Instagram at @livewithoutlimits_coaching.
Cool.
And
You can find. No, go on. Sorry.
no, I was just gonna moan about my illness, having a little cough. I
Oh,
need to be
bless. Diddums.
needs to be looked after.
You'll be fine. You're a big, strong lad. I can be found at SoberNSound, sober letter N sound, an account all things alcoholism and sobriety. And yeah, that's us. Another week, another episode. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, man. Thank you very
Peace.
much. See you soon.
Peace.
See you, man.
Later.